The aim of this presentation is to focus on the harsh reality of FGM in sub-Saharan Africa, and within this presentation I aim to answer my question: what impact are educational programmes having on eliminating FGM in sub-Saharan Africa, by identifying and discussing different educational programmes available. The focus of this presentation was based on sub-Saharan Africa due to the high concentration of known FGM practices. However, FGM is still carried out in other areas of the world today. FGM stands for female genital mutilation, which UNICEF 2019 explains FGM as being the complete or partial removal of a girl's genitalia. Other forms of FGM involve partially stitching up the vaginal opening to stop girls and women from engaging in premarital sexual activities. The World Educational Blog 2017 outlines the mutilation and violation can happen at any age in a female's life and can lead to devastating health consequences. Matthews 2011 argues there are 4 types of FGM that can practice: clitorectomy, excision, inflammation, and finally other forms of the harmful process. The first 2 forms are the most common. It is seen as a religious, cultural, and historical tradition in many cultures and has been around for over 2,000 years and still a problem today in the 21st century, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. However, UNICEF 2019 and other partnering organisations have been arguing for this practice to be completely eradicated due to the non-beneficial stance and the problems it causes girls and women later in life. This being said, it is argued by WHO 2020 the radicalisation is not so simple due to different opinions based on cultural and communal groups. Matthews 2011 and latter 2018 argues the impact of FGM means males have control over the female bodies, their roles, and capability for sexual fulfillment. It is identified to be carried out as a traditional process for women to have done before adolescence and portrayed as a rite of passage into womanhood, and encourages women to not lose their virginity until they are married and remain pure for their husband, also preserving family honour. This slide demonstrates the statistics of current practice FGM as an overview of the world, and Women's Statistics Project 2015 share these statistics to provide an awareness to the public of FGM practice, now stating the low or very rare numbers of FGM cases across the globe, but identifies the high number of FGM cases still carried out in sub-Saharan Africa regions, as at least 26% and in some areas more than half of women have been subjected to some form of FGM. This directs on to why the presentation is discussing the impact of FGM on sub-Saharan African regions. UNICEF 2013 demonstrates the extent that FGM is still happening in sub-Saharan African regions, as seen on the maps. Mali with 98%, Guinea with 96%, and many regions over 70%, highlights heavy practice FGM in these regions still to this day. Forward UK 2019 states these countries still practice FGM as a form of female control within their communities and see it as a traditional process that young women must undergo. Following on from the visual maps, there is abundance of statistics to demonstrate FGM practice in sub-Saharan Africa. Curry et al. 2018 states that there are over 200 million known cases within sub-Saharan Africa alone, and UNICEF 2019 argues this is only an estimation due to the unreported cases that occur every day. Also, UNFPA 2019 estimates over 3 million girls are subjected to FGM every year, and the harsh reality, large majority of children undergo the process by the age of 5. Also, the UN 2015 states 45 million girls are out of some form of education. This has a prime effect on FGM statistics due to if girls are not going to school to learn about health education and the dangers of FGM, they are more likely to promote the practice when they have their own children or support family members in the continued practice because they do not understand the dangers. These next 2 slides will address how policies, laws, and education within schools and communities have played an influential role in reducing the number of FGM cases every year. It is identified that in Africa more generally that 16 nations have made the practice of FGM illegal. Furthermore, in 2003, FGM prohibited and limited due to the Protocol to African Charter on Human and People's Rights, simply referring to the Gender Equality Programme. 2 et al. 2014 states the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child 1989 and the Child Education Act 2002 also played an influential role in reducing the number of FGM cases, as it raised the awareness of the rights of the child and the importance of Education. However, as discussed, there are 45 million girls out of education, and FGM is still dominant. Therefore, showing policies and laws are only partially effective due to the importance of changing attitudes in the local area and communities. Matthews 2011. Education can play a huge role in FGM, as Letters 2018 emphasises that women who are educated the horrors of FGM and given the knowledge surrounding FGM, they are more likely to stand up and speak out against it. Letters 2016 argues that health education is important with reference to eradicating FGM, as it advises women the health risks that are associated with this process. These shall be addressed further on in the presentation. It is addressed that the education of doctors and teachers understanding the signs of when an individual has undergone FGM and understanding how to handle the situation sensitively and professionally. This can have an influence on the continuation of FGM and people talking in their communities. UNICEF 2013. For example, Action Aid 2020 and other partnering organisations provide regular workshops to people in the community and allowing a positive discussion to allow people to learn the dangers of FGM and the importance of their health. By giving professional workshops and discussing how FGM can affect women's health, such as when they go into labour, it allows FGM cutters and families to identify the connection between FGM and stillborn babies or obstructed labours, compared to if the women do not undergo FGM. It is evidenced by Action Aid 2020 and Women's Aid 2020 that from attending these workshops, positive discussion begin to happen through understanding, empathy, and women begin to understand and share their stories through the community. It is identified within the ICRW 2016, the World Education Blog 2017, that older parents are more likely to subject their stories to FGM because of the lack of understanding and education within their communities. Therefore, providing workshops with cultural leaders of the community and older generations, members of the community, changing their attitudes and providing them with factual information, they are less likely to promote FGM from continuing. It is identified that the United Nations 2019 Sustainable Development Goals, such as Goal number 4, quality education, and Goal number 5, gender equality, can be linked to the elimination of FGM. Quality education correlates with the idea of educating girls away from traditional ideas within their society and allowing them to have good quality education and providing long life learning opportunities. Goal number 5, gender equality, correlates women should understand they have access to the same rights and opportunities as men and understand the importance of gender-based violence within families. United Nations 2019 Sustainable Development Goal focuses on FGM because it was identified in the year 2000 that nearly 1 in 2 women have been subjected to some form of FGM. There had been a slight development, as in 2017, 1 in 3 women had been subjected to the process. This shows there had been progress in working with countries in eliminating FGM, which shows from quality education being shown to communities, people are understanding the dangers of FGM and promoting the importance of gender equality, ensuring universal access to sexual and reproductive health and allowing women equal rights and ending discrimination against young women and girls. Communities are coming together to decrease the number of FGM cases. The Wallace Global Fund 2018. However, there is still a lot of work to be done to eliminating FGM and meeting these goals. UNICEF 2019 states there are no health benefits, and this leads us to question why the practice is still being carried out. The Wallace Global Fund 2018 argue that the practice is often carried out in unsterilised environment with no measures of antiseptic or antibiotics, which can lead to harmful physical and psychological consequences, both immediately after the process and throughout their lives, such as PTSD and depression and anxiety, as well as discomfort and difficulty within adolescent development. Also, the practice is carried out by elder members of the communities who have no or little medical training, which can cause a high level of risk of infection and prevalence of death from hemorrhaging is high. Matthews 2011. Letters 2015 also states many women have complications during childbirth due to the practice being carried out. Finally, it is argued that FGM causes severe bleeding, problems menstruating, and often be painful when having intercourse. The focus of this presentation was to demonstrate the impact of educational programs of eliminating FGM in sub-Saharan Africa. From evidence, it is shown that by educating individuals of the harmful practice of FGM and working with communities through workshops is the most effective strategy presented in literature due to the opportunity it allows individuals to learn the risks and dangers of FGM and help stop the spread of FGM in further generations. However, there is still a long way to go before the elimination can be completed.